Are you planning your next trip to Japan and you don't want to miss the coolest spots? Or are you just like me and you love watching Japanese travel videos? Well, welcome to Japan for Cool People, the series where I'm showing you the must-see spots, the cool places where cool people go. If you're going to Kyoto, we went to Kyoto from Tokyo and we left from Tokyo Station. And you have to check out the character street here in Tokyo Station because let me tell you, it has a whole lot of character and characters. If you're a big Ghibli fan, they have 2 shops completely dedicated to Studio Ghibli merch. One of the stores is geared towards more hipster fans, a little older, who want something Ghibli but that doesn't like scream Ghibli. And the other store is just all out, full on cute, fun toys and merchandise. It's incredible that they have 2 dedicated stores because if you live in the US, you know there are no Studio Ghibli stores. There's rarely ever any merchandise, and sometimes it's not even real here, and it's usually extremely expensive. So walking into these stores, I was so excited because you get to see these niche characters you love that celebrate the movies you absolutely love that I have never seen before. Everything was so cute. It was fun just to look at the designs. Please fill up your virtual shopping cart in the comments with things that you would like to take home with you. I, for one, love practical merchandise, so that is merchandise like on the towels. I do love a little keychain that's practical and that it brings me joy. And I also bought one of these fortune totoros. You open it up and a different color tells you a different fortune. If you're a big stationery fan, you really do have to visit Character Street in Tokyo Station. They have, oh, get it, station, Tokyo Stationery, because it's extraordinary stationery. Guys, all over the place. You're gonna be like, wow, maybe I should get another journal. Maybe I should get another sketchbook that I won't fill up because I'm scared of ruining it. Like, that's how I feel about the stationery. It's so beautiful that I'm almost scared to use it, but then at the same time I'm so excited to be able to use like the Kiki's Delivery Service notebook. And towards the end of the video, I have more tips for you if you're a Ghibli fan, places you have to visit in Kyoto. Studio Ghibli movies are so incredibly moving, especially if you watch the documentaries of Miyazaki making these movies and seeing his process and the hard work and dedication day in and day out that goes into creating these stories and these worlds. Wow, like just one frame of these movies is such a work of art, handcrafted, painted, and designed, and then you think of it lasting an hour and 30 minutes. It blows my mind every time I see a Ghibli movie. It just moves me. I just feel so alive. This is that second store that's more hipster. If you've seen these documentaries of Miyazaki, please let me know in the comments. I have to relate to someone on this. He is such a genius. like watching his movies makes you fall in love with life again. Like those little moments in life. When you're dipping honey in your tea or you're having instant ramen, there's something so nostalgic and beautiful about celebrating those tiny, quiet moments and living your life and really embracing that not every day is some huge adventure. Sometimes there are lulls, but the extraordinary and the ordinary just exist in this beautiful space together. You know, there's always some kind of magic mixed in with ordinary life, and that's why I just love his films, and that's why I bought a whole bunch of merchandise. But yeah, I definitely check out those stores. You might feel inspired all over again. There's also some awesome shopping down here if you're a Lego fan. They have cool exclusive merchandise, and they have fun Japanese snack stores as well, which I really love. My problem is I eat the snacks before they even get home. So I'm like, what? Who am I buying this for? Just me. Now, if you're headed to Kyoto, you're probably taking the Shinkansen, and I highly recommend picking up a bento box before you go. Tokyo Station is full of all of these delicious food stands downstairs, so you have a lot to choose from. We picked up some dumplings, and then upstairs near the tracks, the most affordable bento boxes were in the convenience stores, and they had an incredible selection. Like, our snacks are packed and stacked. I love getting 3 things. 1 main, 1 salty snack, and then 1 dessert. It's important, you know. I think that's what the doctor means when they say you need to eat a balanced diet. You have to have 1 bento box, 1 kind of fried potato snack, and 1 sweet thing to balance it all out at the end. It's really good for you. It's good for your soul. There is an art to bento boxes, and also maybe a science too. Like these fold-out chopstick lightsabers. Incredible design. But did you know they also have bento boxes where you take this little pouch, you pull some kind of string, you stick it underneath the bento box, and it heats it up? Like a self-heating bento box? That's not what I got. But I'm just saying, there's some kind of crazy magical science behind eating in luxury as a train moves like 70 miles per hour. Oh, correction. The train is actually moving 150 to 200 miles per hour, which is why this is kind of a little shaky on this camera work here. Sorry. What I love about this bento is it is the spring bento, so it has seasonal ingredients. It really highlights the beauty of the ingredients. See, I don't eat seasonally at home. I usually don't even know what season it is. Being from LA, the seasons are sunny, sunny, sunny. It rained once, and then we're back to the sun again. And I'm not complaining, you know. My lobster's too juicy, my steak is too buttery, or whatever. You know what they say. Anyways, once you get to Kyoto, you can store your luggage at the station. We did this because we're actually staying in Nara, which was a lot cheaper than staying in Kyoto. So that's a good little tip, which I'm kind of scared to share actually because I don't want to miss out on those deals in Nara, but we're at my favorite store in Kyoto. But I'm letting you know because honestly, I just love helping people have the best possible trip they can have. So yeah, it was half the price to stay in Nara and then just take the train out from Kyoto afterwards. So we left our luggage at the train station in Kyoto, and we'll be back for it after we buy more things. Unencumbered by our things at the station, time to get more stuff. This is that Studio Ghibli shop I was mentioning earlier. So now we are in Kyoto, we are on our way to Kiyomizu-dera temple, and this is just on that walk up the hill. You are gonna find the most mystical, magical merchandise you have ever seen. I walked in here, I felt like an acorn might hit me on the head. I might have looked up and Totoro would be standing there ready to beckon me on my next adventure. That didn't quite happen, but I did buy some cool bento stuff. I've been really into making bento boxes lately. If you are ever on YouTube, do you see, well you are now, but do you ever see those videos people make the most beautiful elaborate bento boxes for their kids? I'm like, I have a 200-something month old at home. It's me. And I'm fashioning these onigiri into like rice balls with faces on them. And then I'm like, you know what? I should really focus on increasing my pay at work. And then I'm like, no, I'm gonna make this look like a panda. Yeah, and I should put curry around. And then I'm like, okay, I need to lock in on something. Also, who would buy this? This is crazy. But anyway, I don't know why that came up while I was talking about my job. Kiki's delivery service always delivers. Every time I watch that, I just relate so much. And I feel for Kiki. And I love Ursula, who lives in the woods and paints. I'm like, that is so relatable. That is a frugal, retired, early queen. You know, that is you know she's a secret millionaire. And if she's not, she's wealthy because every day she gets to wake up and create art, which is what I want to do one day. So, please subscribe. He's watching. Alright, we're in a bit of a pickle here because we gotta head up this hill. But there are so many things, so make sure you leave enough time to explore all the cute souvenir shops and the wonderful food stalls on your way up to Kiyomizu-dera. They do close when the temple closes, which tends to be pretty early, so you will want to get here, and if you get here earlier, you'll beat the crowds. Oh my gosh, this is crazy, I found us. So you need to tag yourself because I need to know which one of these little figurines you are. I looked over, I was like, oh my gosh, I was like seeing myself in a mirror. Is that me? I was like, oh my god, how did they know? How did they model it after me? Anyway, do you think I can collect royalties on that? Okay, we have made it to Kiyomizu-dera, which is the pure water temple. It's one of the most incredible temples in all of Japan. It was founded in 780. 780. Like, that's a 3-digit number. It's hard to even narrate over this because it's like, it makes me speechless. And I'm not even joking. Like, you just have to take this in. Like, what is there more to say?
It's absolutely spectacular here. This is one of our favorite temples.
Kiyomizu-dera is extremely special, and there are 3 streams of water here that grant a different wish. So you have to choose from the fountains: longevity, love, or success in your school or career. But you cannot drink from all 3. You have to pick which ones you like the most, guys. I could be indecisive. I was like, it's good I'm not in school anymore because I don't want to waste my wish on getting good grades. I highly recommend visiting Kyoto on your trip and then Kiyomizu-dera. That should be like the first stop. It's incredible. And then around Kiyomizu-dera, you have wonderful shops like Starbucks. I'm just kidding. There are a lot of beautiful local shops with local crafts. I especially love this candy store. This is my favorite candy store almost ever, I think. Everything they do is like a work of art, and the candy is delicious. It has this very fresh taste. There's all these beautiful flavors, and they are such artisans at their craft. My mouth was ajar. There are so many jars to choose from. Check it out.
This is one of the best shops in Kyoto and my absolute favorite. I just spent about $35 on candy.
I love strolling through these old towns with traditional architecture. It makes me feel like I've traveled back in time, except everyone has iPhones and selfie sticks. But it's still, you can just imagine, like, edit that out in your brain with your AI technology and just imagine you're back in time. How incredible. Isn't this so cool? We are back in the past hundreds of years, untouched by time. Everything is so traditional.
I am all the way around the world for Starbucks. I don't know. Let's go check it out though.
Honestly, this just makes me laugh. Can you believe this Starbucks? I think this might be the most beautiful Starbucks I've ever seen. This just goes to show there really is a Starbucks on every corner of the world, whether you're in LA or you're in Kyoto. I had to check it out. I do love a good matcha. I actually didn't buy anything here, but don't tell them that because I used the bathroom, sorry. But it's just, I don't tend to actually drink coffee, and if I do, it's like a once a year thing. It's like, wow, I'm going to buy a Frappuccino. That's an $8 commitment. Like, it's like a big deal for me. Okay, anyway, so I loved being in here though. It's beautiful. Another storyteller I really admire is Beatrix Potter. And this is a very niche interest as well, and I think Japan is catered very well towards people who have niche interests.
Oh no, they have the pie that Peter's father was turned into.
That is absolutely unhinged merchandise. Like, Peter's dad is a pie. Anyway, the story of Beatrix Potter is incredibly fascinating. Did you know that she was actually an incredible naturalist? She would make very technically accurate drawings of fungi. She wanted to be a mycologist. She wanted to study mushrooms. And she's just an incredible scientific illustrator. She even developed theories about fungi spores and wrote papers on them. And when you're enjoying Peter Rabbit and the illustrations of Beatrix Potter, you do see that these fantasy characters are rooted in such a realistic environment, and they look realistic themselves. She was just such an expert, and when you really look at her illustrations, you can feel that the years of dedication that it took. You could tell that she really studies things so carefully, and it lends well to both realism and fantasy, and that's how you get such beautiful, charming books. Please let me know if you have a favorite Beatrix Potter book. I would have to say mine is Peter Rabbit, although it always very much stressed me out as well. I was like, Peter, why don't you just stay home and relax? Like, you don't need to be doing all these just don't be doing anything extra, or you're gonna turn into that pie that's gonna be on some merchandise. They have a cafe here as well. They serve rabbit pie. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I don't know. I don't think they serve anything with meat in it, but they do serve like I'm sorry, that's a crazy joke. But they started it with that hat. That merchandise is crazy. Okay. If you are hungry in Kyoto though, there is one spot I cannot recommend enough. Like if you miss this spot, I think you need to go back.
What a beautiful, beautiful night in Kyoto.
Now this spot is so low-key. It's just 2 emojis. No explanation needed. The menu, also just emojis. I love how nonchalant this is. Nothing can get lost in translation. You just order a smiley face, you order a heart. You get both here. A big smile, and your heart will feel happy. What the duck? Guys, the duck here is so good. Usually I don't eat duck because I think it's too cute. Here they cook it at a low temperature. It's the loin. They serve it with 3 spices: a grape sancho, yuzu, and a homemade black shichimi. Now that they brought the whole laboratory, I feel like we're ready to cook. I feel like Walter White. Actually, it's a different WW. I would say it's a Willy Wonka moment. I truly felt like I was in a food factory trying flavors for the first time. Look at this. This is some kind of whimsical... I'll narrate what I'm saying. Wow, this is so beautiful. This is so stunning. I kept saying that over and over until I was like, you know what, I actually have to commit and eat this while it's hot. And you know when a place throws a little edible flower on there, they're garnishing with the season. They're like, you know, it's spring. Here's some flowers, eat these. I felt like a fairy. I was like, maybe I am in the Studio Ghibli movie. Maybe I'm meant to live in the woods. Maybe I'm meant to follow my dreams and make art, and maybe life is just about enjoying good food. Maybe I've been focusing on the wrong things my whole life. And it's all about... This kettle here is full of tea, and you pour it over this bonito, these fish flakes, so you make your own delicious broth that you could have with the rice and the duck. You can make your own ochesuke, which is a delicious Japanese dish. Wow, and they give you as much as you want. It was so good. I will be this happy again. I will experience something this delicious. I'll be so honest, I've been eating rice and beans for probably the last 2 weeks straight. I'm extremely frugal when I get home because I just want to go back. I just want to experience things and food, and I'm getting hungry. I'm actually going to go eat some beans.
I review this. It looks really good. At first I thought it was a white chocolate bar or something, but it's in the freezer, so that's...
I filmed this before I owned a microphone, and now I'm like, I cannot stand that ambient noise, so I'm going to narrate what I'm saying. I'm saying, I can't wait to try this because I love funfetti cake, and they've distilled it into an ice cream bar, and oh my goodness, it's crazy good. It is like a celebration. It's your birthday every day.
I literally give this like a 9.5 out of 10. I don't know how to make it better. It's really hard to eat this in a not messy way because the chocolate is like a hot fudge. Just like sticky, really good. Like thick double fudge layer all the way through. Woo-hoo.
That's a reference to one of my favorite vines. It's this girl who gets an ice cream cone and she's so excited about it, and no one ever knows what vine I'm referencing because I say it out loud and then everyone looks at me like, what? Dogs out at this hotel. You're not allowed to wear shoes. And actually I don't even think dogs are allowed, but I'm talking about your feet. They lock your shoes downstairs.
Alright, check out how cool this room is. Wow. So cool. Cute little minimalist baby. Love it.
Thank you for watching. I'll have more travel tips, and here is the rest of the series if you want to hang out and get some more knowledge.